Good morning. This is John Ed Mathison, and a good Thursday morning to you. I love to be around children and watch them. And I remember a verse of Scripture where Jesus said, "And a child shall lead them." We tend to think that we need to teach children. Sometimes children can teach us. A very interesting thing occurred in England a few years ago. There was a young couple that were expecting their first child. And just as the wife was to give birth to the new baby, the husband, his name was Mark Ellis, had a stroke. And it was one of those debilitating strokes. He couldn't talk, he couldn't move. And the baby was born. And it was a bittersweet kind of thing, happiness for the new baby, but also here was the husband incapacitated. But an interesting thing happened. They would place Mark next to the crib of the little baby. And he started letting the baby teach him. The baby smiled. And from his stroke, he had been unable to hardly move, but he started smiling. The baby cried. And so he started crying. The baby babbled a little bit. And while speech therapy couldn't help him a lot, he babbled back with the baby. And then when the baby learned to say a word, he learned to say it. And when the baby was on the floor and started to crawl, they put Mark on the floor, and he was able to crawl. And ultimately, when the baby took its first step, Mark was able to take a step on the walker. You see, he learned from his child. Today, just be humble enough to be childlike. And what could a child teach us when Jesus held up a child and said, "This is what the kingdom of heaven is like." May we learn in a childlike, not be childish, but to be childlike.